Hey, Shalom family. Most High in Christ bless you. My name is Officer Ira. Today I got with me.
And this is Soldier Yair.
All right, today's class is entitled, it's a question, are Latinos Israelites or are we Gentiles? All right, because nowadays we have a lot of haters, all right? Recently, I'll say, we have a lot of haters that try to say that so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos, we're European, we're whitewashed. And that's hatred. That's false because the 12 tribes of Israel is what the so-called blacks, so-called West Indians, so-called Haitians, and guess what? So-called Latinos. And so-called Native Americans. These are the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
Let's start with Isaiah chapter 11, verse 13. All right, Isaiah 11, 13.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 13.
Come on.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off.
Come on.
Ephraim shall not envy Judah.
Now it says, Ephraim shall not envy Judah. When you read the scriptures, right, from the times of kings, from the split of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, there was envy going on between the both kingdoms to the point that historically, you read about Ephraim, they conspired against Judah. Right? Ephraim conspired against Judah, and guess what? The Lord had to destroy northern kingdom. The Lord had to intervene and say, no, hell no, I got to destroy y'all because, first of all, northern kingdom fell into heavy idolatry to the point that God told the other tribes, Ephraim is given unto idols, leave them alone.
Right.
So for a long time, there was a separation between both kingdoms. That's what it says in these last days. It says, Ephraim shall not envy Judah. And it starts by what? Accepting and teaching that Christ is black. Because amongst Latinos, there's a lot of hatred for black people. Right? Listen, at camp, that's when you teach Northern Kingdom, you got to teach image of Christ. Like, if they can't accept Christ being black, you can't really go nowhere. You got to stay right there because for years, we've been taught Christ is white. And a lot of you so-called Latinos, there's even amongst us, like I say, Hispanic countries, there's a division between the dark-skinned Latinos and the light-skinned Latinos. Right. So colorism is heavy. That's why color matters. That's why we got to teach color. All right, now it says, Ephraim shall not envy Judah. In these last days, as we're gathering all 12 tribes, we're gathering both kingdoms together, Ephraim, right, so-called Latinos, we're not going to have that hatred towards the so-called blacks. Now read on.
And Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
Because even in the scriptures, right, for example, we read about Cornelius, right, or even when Christ was talking to the Samaritan woman, which we know was Northern Kingdom, the disciples are confused. Like, how is Christ talking to this woman? Because for a long time, guess what? The Jews were not dealing with the Northern Kingdom. Right. We read about that with Cornelius and also in Galatians with Paul and Peter. But so guess what? In these last days, also Judah, they're not going to be vexing Ephraim. Now, a way we see vexation towards Northern Kingdom is when you see the brothers talk about God only deals with dark-skinned Latinos, or some will go to the extent and say that Northern Kingdom is only found in Africa. They'll completely try to debunk the whole Northern Kingdom doctrine. That's vexation because we are going to today's class. There's so much evidence scripturally and historically and with recent times that the so-called Latinos, we are the Israelites.
That's right.
So let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. All right, today's class, we're going to be going to a lot of scriptures that we go over all the time just to give you more proof and bring the scriptures to life, right? That doctrine is a lie. Let's go there real quick. Come on.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Mm-hmm. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. I command thee this day that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So this is the Lord talking to Moses. The Lord said, Moses, tell all the 12 tribes, not just 3 tribes, right? Not just 10. Tell the entire 12 that in the last days, if you disobey my commandments, God will send upon us curses.
Right.
All right, so now go to verse 16.
Verse 16.
Come on.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
It says that all 12 tribes will be cursed in the city. So today's topic is Northern Kingdom, so-called Latino. So, yes, put that picture up there. All right. Many of you, especially in this area, right, Jersey, or they consider the tri-state area, we be seeing this almost every day.
Right.
Right. You've been seeing this even on the highways. For example, in New York, right, when we be traveling over the bridge, you be seeing this on the main highway.
That's right.
Around the major thing, all that stuff. Guess what? You see our sisters with children, even sometimes pregnant women, out there selling fruit, flowers, because, It's hard.
Right.
Listen, they be going there to bring money for their family, to help support their husband. But you're telling me when you see this, you're risking your lives, right? Because there be 18-wheelers, all that up in the highway, just to bring money for your family.
Right.
That's not a blessing. And listen, do you think they have a pension? You think they have like what they call a 401k?
Hell no.
They got vacation and time paid off? Nah, like they out there literally hustling for their families, selling water, selling fruit, selling flowers. So when you see these things, that's a modern day example where it says, "Cursed thou be in the city."
Right.
Because we know about the so-called, Judah. We know about public housing, food stamps, and all 12 tribes suffer from that.
Right.
Right. Barely making ends meet. Like for us to plan a vacation, we really got to plan it.
Oh yeah.
Like we can't just be, I'm taking off work. We got to be, okay, I got to, let's say September, I'm going to try to plan a vacation for July. Like we got to like call, even for the feast days, right? That's oppression. We understand that. But today's topic is so-called Latinos. Now, go to the next picture. Now, a lot of y'all be seeing this, right, where they consider day workers or brothers. I've been seeing sisters too sometimes, right, at the corners, the Home Depots, the Lowe's. You're just there waiting for work.
Right.
Waiting for work. Go to the next picture. That's a modern day example of cursed should thou be in the city, because I was saying, like, I have family that have told me from the first, like from their actual experiences, a lot of them be going, they working full days. I'm talking about full days of hard labor, right? Whether it be, construction, carpentry, bricklaying, painting, whatever the case is. And sometimes they don't even pay them. I have family told me they be going, a week, whatever the case is, they might just pay them 2 days.
That's crazy.
Because a lot of these, people that hire them, quote unquote hire, they know they don't got papers.
Right.
They know they illegal. Well, what they consider illegal. This land is ours. They'll still call us illegal.
Right.
But so they can't sue them. They can't take them to no work union, labor union. But they be out there on a day-to-day basis, just waiting for work. That's cursed in the city. That's oppression.
Right.
All right. That's like a lot of these brothers. Guess what? They don't got papers. They can't go ask and file for what they call unemployment. They can't do that. So they got to hustle. That's cursed without being the city. So if you trying to tell me this ain't the Bible, these aren't the curses, then listen, you lost.
Right.
Now read on. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
and cursed shalt thou be in the field."
And cursed shalt thou be in the field. A lot of you Hispanics don't understand that we were also cursed in the field. We was in slavery.
Right.
And when the white man does that in the school system, that's by strategy, because when they do that is they separate both kingdoms. Like I was mentioning before, one time I had a sister tell me that I can't tell her about black problems because I never been through oppression. Guess what? Like, when the cops pull us over, I think about the same thing. Like, damn, like,
right.
They gonna racial profile me as well. Now the thing is, because when you don't teach that the so-called Latinos went to slavery, then blacks would be like, well, y'all can't relate to me.
Right.
Y'all my people, and vice versa too. That's why a lot of Latinos don't see the black man and black woman as they people, because they'll be like, well, I didn't go through that. Like, that's y'all history. When they understand that the so-called Latinos, we've been in slavery since the 1400s.
That's right.
Now, yes, put it on the screen. Cursed shalt thou be in the field. This is you see this you see this right now. You go to strawberry fields, right? Berries, corn, tomatoes, potato. Right, that's it, potatoes, right? Crazy. But this happens today. You see so-called Latinos in the fields,
right?
With their hands picking the vegetation, the fruits. That's cursed shalt thou be in the field. Now I'm hold that. Now go to the article. All right, go to the article. Now I want you to get the end of poverty videos ready. Go to the article first, though, because I want to start with the history. Because, like I said before, I mentioned, I didn't truly start learning about, like, Latino slavery, first and foremost, in the truth, but it was in college. Like, it was one professor, he taught pre-colonialism, like, history. Right. And he brought up, for example, in his course, part of the curriculum was reading The Destruction of the Indies.
Right.
Like, the book we bring out in the truth, that was actually his curriculum. So I was like, oh, snap. Like, I was going in because at that time, I was learning the truth. I'm like, this guy here in this, I'm like, oh, snap. But the thing is, like, in high school, middle school, like, I didn't know about the true history of Columbus.
Right.
The true history of Pizarro, Alvarado. I didn't know that. I just know, okay, these people are like, okay, Columbus Day, Columbus Park, Columbus Avenue. But that's by strategy, right? But they're not teaching our true history. That's by strategy. That's not by accident. So now go to this article, all right? Put it on the screen. It says, here are the indigenous people Christopher Columbus and his men cannot, what's that word? Annihilate. Thank you. Go to the picture. Now, you see back there, you see the 3 ships? Like, you know the devil, because in school, they'll always teach us it was the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Right.
Like, they always told you, oh, those are the 3 ships. They made songs out of it. Columbus and the 3 ships. But not knowing that in this picture is the conquest of God's chosen.
Right.
And Columbus, he, by his authority, under his rule, he killed more natives, more Israelites than what they consider the Hitler. Because in school they say the greatest Holocaust was the Jewish Holocaust. Right. The Jewish man is not an Israelite. Right. The Bible calls him the synagogue of Satan. Right. So by that thing, they will never put no Adolf Hitler Day. They will never do that. Nah. Because in society's eye, he was the worst man ever in history. But Columbus, Pizarro, all the conquistadors, right? You have Pope Nicholas V, all of them, they was worse, right? And they're all the same people, too. They're the same race.
That's right.
Now, go down for time's sake. Go down. Keep going. All right, so start right there. Columbus and his crew.
Columbus and his crew searched for gold to no avail. So they filled their ships with something else they could sell. People.
You see that? So when Columbus and his crew came, they couldn't get enough gold, so they said, damn, what are we going to bring back to the Queen of Spain, right? What are we going to, listen, people, slaves, the people that are slaves. Right. Now watch this, read on.
Of the 500 Taino they took, selected because they were the strongest and healthiest specimens.
Come on.
200 died on the voyage to Spain.
Now, how do you think they got to Spain? You think they took a canoe trip? They took a quest? They took a, what they call it? A yacht? A cruise ship? Nah, this is slave ships. And the Bible talks about it. We can get to that later. They got to Spain. Why? Because so-called Latinos, the indigenous of this land, we was also sold on slave ships. Right. And they don't teach that. Think about it. And that's heavy because that doctrine about Latinos not being Israelites, a lot of them try to say, but Latinos never went on slave ships. How do you think we went to Spain? Slave ship. Right. We was also in slavery, in slave ships. Now, read on. Many more.
Many more died once they had been sold into slavery.
Sold in what?
Into slavery.
Come on.
So Columbus tried again for gold. But this time, he and his men didn't go looking for it.
Come on.
They ordered all Taino people, 14 and older, to deliver a certain amount of gold dust every 3 months.
Now watch, it says 14 and older. So that goes into, we'll bring out later, they didn't regard your age. They didn't care how young you were, how old you were. It says, you 14? You can walk? Right. You gotta pick some gold. Go find some gold. Now watch it. If they didn't, their hands would be cut off. So if you didn't deliver that certain amount of gold within those 3 months, they cut our hands off. Now give me the pictures, because I have some pictures there too that I sent you. So if you did not bring that particular amount, put it on the screen, thank you. This is what will happen. This is what will happen to our brothers and sisters on this side of the earth. Put it up. Right there. Now, these pictures is from a man called Theodore de Bry, I believe, all right? He was the man that came on the voyages. He was a Jesuit priest, all right? And he drew these pictures. He drew what he was seeing on this side of the earth. Right. You see right there what's happening? Their hands being chopped off. Mm-hmm. Hands, their noses. Because if they didn't deliver the amount of gold, it was what? Chop their hands off, chop your nose. Right. Now read that verse again, the last part. Cursed shalt thou be where?
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now it don't get no clearer than this. That this is being cursed in the field by you not delivering a certain amount of gold, your hands being chopped off. Right. So when you say Latinos didn't go through slavery, then you're just ignorant. Just pick up a book, read something. Right? These pictures are online for you to get for free. So now give me the end of poverty. Give me the videos. Give me the first one. I think it's entitled Maria Luisa. All right. Now, The End of Poverty is a documentary that all you should watch. It goes into how we are still in modern-day slavery. So now I'm going to show a video to go into further detail where it says, cursed should thou be in the field and in the city. Yes. Put it on the screen. I believe this is in Brazil. All right. Now, it says Maria Luisa Mendoza talks about slave labor in the sugarcane fields. Play on. Go ahead.
São Paulo is the largest state that produces ethanol in Brazil, and at the same time is the richest state. And just to give you an example, last year, 17 workers died in the space where they work. They die of exhaustion. Another 419 workers have died in consequence of their work. In addition to several cases of slave labor in the sugarcane workers that the Ministry of Labor has been registered.
I appreciate y'all. But the point is, you see what I go into?
Right.
And that's I think that's about 10 years. I think the documentary came out, I think, 10 years ago or 15. So it's recent.
Right.
That is recent. And you know how many slave laborers are also in this country? Where you see those factories, you see a lot of what they consider undocumented people working.
Right.
Like, my point is that when we're talking about curse in the city, curse in the field, it happens to this day.
That's right.
To both kingdoms. Because we can go into Southern Kingdom as well, but today's topic is we're debunking that doctrine, that evil doctrine. So that's in Brazil today. Now, give me the other video, the cane cutters. Now, it says cane cutters talk about their daily routine, how it is working on the cane field. All right, now we're going to pause because there's subtitles, so I want to read it out loud too. So just pause per scene. All right. Start right there. It says, we have to wake up 1 a.m. without even a fire. This is in Brazil. Now, it says 1 a.m., right? A lot of us here, we have some of us work overnight, but most of us start our days, 6 a.m.?
Right, around that
6, 7. This guy says we have to wake up at 1 in the morning without even a fire. Read on. Go play on. Stop. It says there are only four fire burners for 80 people to cook with.
Crazy.
So there's 80 workers, but only 4 burners. Now these are the conditions they have our people working in like today, these times. Go ahead. Stop. It says we need to wake up at 1 in the morning to fix breakfast. Go ahead. Stop. So if not, we don't have breakfast. So if they decide, like, we call snooze, like a lot of us be snoozing, they can't snooze. They miss that time frame, there's no breakfast. Go ahead. It says the water we use has rust in it.
Wow. That's
right?
crazy.
Now, us in this country, right, in Babylon, we have water purifiers. We don't got to worry about rust. But in a lot of these countries, listen, that's an issue. Where the water they have to use to cook, they have rust and all that, right? And guess what? Even in this country, certain of our pipes has lead. Like happened in Newark 3 years ago, Detroit, right? Mm-hmm. Flint, Michigan. That's only a few that we can talk about. But to show you that all of us, all the 12 tribes, both the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom, we go through the same problems.
Right.
What are those problems called? Curses. Biblically, the problems are called curses. Go ahead.
Toma banho lá, só tem ferrugem. Aí toma banho.
Stop. It says we take a bath. It said we take a bath today. Tomorrow we are sick. Why? Because the same water they use to clean themselves, to eat, has rust in it. Go ahead.
Hoje, no outro dia já tá doente.
So it says the equipment came bit by bit. Go ahead. Stop. It says the hat first, then came the boots. Look, hold on. It says the hat first, then came the boots. And think about it. So you tell me you're working in a cane field, right? Yeah. Shouldn't your workers have all, I know in this country there's something called you have the union labor, they make sure you have the proper equipment.
Right.
These people said the equipment came in stages. First the hat, then the boots. So before the boots came, how are they working? Barefoot, old shoes. To show you that if you try to say Hispanics, Latinos aren't Israelites, then you're just gone. You're just lost.
Right.
All right. Go ahead. Stop. It says some work barefoot because they didn't get the equipment. Go ahead. That's it, right? So now read the whole verse again. Read the whole verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So now the purpose of showing these videos in the article is to show our people that we're first of all, we're still in slavery today.
Right.
Right? And to show that the so-called blacks with the Latinos were the same people.
Right.
Like it says in Jeremiah, it says both kingdoms were oppressed together. We go through the same exact issues. Now go to verse 33. Go to verse 33.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33.
Come on.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Now where it says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. This is going far beyond just regular fruit.
Right.
Because yes, you can talk about, like bananas, fruit, oranges, all that stuff. But guess what? We're told this is actually going further. It's going to the natural resources. Because verse 33 is going to colonialism.
Right.
When the American Empire, the Spanish Empire, the Portuguese Empire, the French Empire came to this side of the earth and conquered the so-called Latinos, they took all of our resources.
Right.
All of it. Now, I want you to give me the John Perkins video. Because read that verse again one more time.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So it's prophesied, I guess, that a nation, that another race of people will come to our lands and fully reap and take our natural resources. Now read on.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
And that always goes up to today. Because I want you to think about something, family. When people think about vacation, right, they usually think about Cancun, which is Mexico, DR, right, Colombia, Brazil. But these are countries that people go to vacation. But why are the people, like Puerto Rico, right? People that San Juan. But the same countries people go for vacation are leaving the country. Because the only real rich areas you'll see is the tourist areas.
Right.
Like we've been to Puerto Rico a couple times. Yeah, outside of San Juan, outside the tourist area, is poverty. You still see houses with aluminum rooftop. You still see roads with no concrete.
Right.
Because guess what? The white man, all they do is benefit off the tourist areas. Outside of that is straight oppression. Why do you think people are taking 3-month voyages walking from Venezuela to come to America? Leaving Mexico to come to America? Because within the actual country is straight poverty. Because this white man has taken all of the natural resources. Now, this man right here, his name is John Perkins. He has a book called The Economic Hitman. He actually confesses what his profession was. Now, play the video.
This is an incredible time to be on this planet. It's a time when a true revolution is happening. I think in many respects, we're at a time in history that rivals the agricultural revolution and the industrial revolution, and the time when we realized that the world was not flat and that the sun did not revolve around this planet, we revolved around the sun. At times like these, there are amazing, huge changes. And it's important for people to be prepared and to understand that that's coming. And I think we're at one of those times right now. Incredible experience for me. I learned so much from these indigenous people. And then I became an economic hitman.
Stop right there.
Story of that.
Stop right there, because a lot of us don't know what that term means. It says he became an economic hitman. So he's about to let us know what his job used to be. Play on.
Transformation happened is described in the books Confessions of an Economic Hitman and The Secret History of the American Empire. But suffice it to say that we economic hitmen have in the last few decades created the world's first truly global empire.
Stop right there. Hold on. A lot of people didn't catch what he said. He says we have actually successfully made the first global, what did he say? Global economic empire.
Right.
Because America is beyond just this continent. Like the Bible says in Ezekiel, says this man sits in the seas.
Right.
America is literally in every country.
That's right.
Everywhere, anywhere this man can go, and that's just them as a race, Esau as a race, the so-called white man, right? Edom. Anywhere he can go and take natural resources, he will be there.
Right.
This man is in every country. Reaping was not his. Taking the fruit of these different lands.
Right.
Now go ahead, play on.
The first empire that's been created primarily without the military, through economics. We work many different ways, but perhaps the most common is that we will identify a third world country that has resources our corporations covet.
Stop right there. Stop. It says how they'll do it is they will identify a country. This is a third world country that has resources, right? The Bible says the fruit of thy land. That's
right.
resources that their company covets, right? Like oil, right? Gold, diamonds, right? All any resources that they can use. Go ahead, play on.
And then arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. However, the money never goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our own corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country, power plants, highways, industrial parks, things that benefit a few rich people in that country, as well as our own corporations, but do not help the majority of the people at all, because these people are too poor to buy electricity or have cars. They don't have the skills to get jobs in industrial parks. And yet the whole country, is left holding a huge debt. And it's such a huge debt they can't possibly repay it. So at some point, the economic hitmen go back and say, you owe us a lot of money, you can't repay your debts, so give us a pound of flesh.
Damn, pause, hold on. You understand what that means? What that means is this. For example, they'll go to a country like, let's use, for example, right now, Peru's going through a lot, right? There's a whole lot going on in Peru, Venezuela, Costa Rica.
Right.
They'll go to Venezuela. They'll say, you know what? In Venezuela, you guys need a new airport. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they really don't. Y'all need a new airport for more tourists. Guess what? We'll give you a courtesy loan of $5 billion, just for example. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, you also need new roads. Matter of fact, you know what would be good here too? Y'all might need an amusement park for tourists. Take this $3 billion loan. So they'll take it. Guess what now? That country can't pay that loan back.
Right.
So in essence, that country belongs to who now? Belongs to the U.S.
Right.
So that's how they go to Venezuela, to all of our countries, right? And take the oil, take the gold. Because through these loans, right, the country becomes indebted to the white man. This is, when the Bible, one more time, read that verse again, one more time.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So we got, when the Bible talks about this right here, we got to stop thinking about just regular fruit. No, this is going into how this man literally conquered the whole Western Hemisphere. From North, Central, South America. It started with the conquest, but more modernly today it's going to these economic hitmen.
Right.
That give our countries these ridiculous loans that can't be paid back, so that our countries, technically now, he said, now you can't pay back the loan, give us a pound of flesh.
Right.
Give us your oil reserves. Give us all your fruit companies.
Right.
Give us your diamond, your oils. Pay us back this way. Now play on the video. Play on.
Sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies.
You see that? It says, sell your oil real cheap to our countries. Go ahead.
Vote with us on the next critical United Nations vote, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world, like Iraq. And in that way, we've created this empire. On the few occasions when we economic hitmen fail, as I described in Secret History of the American Empire, what happened to me with Jaime Roldos, the president of Panama, and president of Ecuador, and Omar Torrijos.
Hey, pause that real quick. I want to expound on that real quick. A lot of people may not know who those people are, right? Like brothers, sisters. You can look it up on your own time. Omar Torrijos, he was a president of Panama. And what he did, he's the man that gave back the Panama Canal to the actual Panamanian country. Now, after he did that, they did a coup, right? He actually died in a mysterious plane crash where the plane had no black box, right? A plane usually has a box where always. This plane didn't have a black box. So right after he signed a deal to get back to Panama, to the actual country of Panama, he mysteriously died. Jaime Roldos, he was the president of Ecuador. He wanted to unite, I forgot which ones, a few amount of the South American countries together to go against the American empire or the imperialism. This man also, he died in a mysterious plane crash with no black box. Now he's expounding. He says the few times where this didn't work, right? Meaning the economic hitman, they they didn't sign the deal.
Right.
So he's expounding when let's say you don't sign that deal, this is what will happen. Go ahead, play on.
Of Panama, I failed with both of these men. I was not able to corrupt them. In this corruption, incidentally, my job, everything I did was legal. It shouldn't be, but the forms of corruption we use are totally legal, so I wasn't doing illegal activities. When I failed to bring them around, to get them to accept these loans, to get them to put their countries into servitude, then I knew that standing right behind me were what we call the jackals.
The jackals.
And these are
So
people,
for time sake, you can put the video down. Now, the jackals is what? The actual hitmen.
Hitmen. Yep.
Right? They'll go into your countries and they'll do the dirty work. That's why mysteriously those two men died the exact same way.
Right.
In a mysterious plane crash, right? So now, read a verse again. And give me now the man who stole Puerto Rico, the article. Read a verse again, verse 33.
Deuteronomy chapter
33.
Chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So in these examples of what? That nation is what? The Edomite Empire.
Right.
Right? The American Empire, the British Empire, the Portuguese Empire, the Spanish Empire. Those are the same race. Esau, the so-called white man. They came to Latin America and forcefully took all the resources in our countries.
Right.
So if you're trying to say Latinos aren't Israelites, like I said, just read a book. It's right there. The evidence is in the Bible. It's right there. Now, give me this article. The man who stole Puerto Rico. Now, by show of hands, right, brothers and sisters, who uses domino sugar to cook? Like to bake bread, all that stuff, Dan. That's almost all of us, right? It's almost all our house. Dan, he said, no, I don't use that. I use, stevia? Yeah, whatever. But, right, most of us, right, because it's the cheapest, right? It's hard times out here. We use domino, right?
Right.
What you don't know, domino sugar is, watch, I want you to read this article first. Read the title.
The man who stole Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of robber barons, the usual suspects include John D. Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, and Cornelius Vanderbilt.
Go ahead.
But one robber baron has gone unappreciated. The man who stole Puerto Rico.
The man who stole Puerto Rico, right? Go ahead.
His name is Charles Herbert Allen, the first U.S. civilian governor of Puerto Rico. He served only 17 months, but that was all he needed to perform one of the most spectacular crimes of the 20th century.
Now, for time's sake, go down. You can read this in your own time. It's actually a very good article. That's that devil right there. That's that devil right there. Now, go down. Matter of fact, go all the way down. Like I said, y'all can read this article in your own time. It's actually a very good article. Keep going. So now short right there. Hold on. Yes, go a little higher. I want you to read these last few paragraphs right there by 1934.
By 1934, 80% of all the sugarcane farms in Puerto Rico and their underlying land were owned by a U.S. banking syndicate.
Stop right there. It says by 1934, 80% of all the sugar in Puerto Rico didn't belong to Puerto Rico, belonged to the U.S. That's what we bring out in the streets. That term Puerto Rican, a lot of you Boricuas, Puerto Ricans, be taking hella pride in that name.
Right.
Puerto Rican means a rich port. Puerto Rico ain't rich. But for today's class, we're going to show you how they're not rich, because that's one way. The U.S. was able to take and dominate and take, this is the fruit of that land, the sugar industry out of Puerto Rico.
Right.
Now keep reading.
Allen and the American Sugar Refining Company set the template for all of them.
Come on.
Today, the American Sugar Refining Company is known as Domino Sugar.
As how?
Domino Sugar.
So when we use domino sugar, we don't understand that actually is as robbery. Yeah. That line of sugar is what the U.S. stole from Puerto Rico.
Right.
So those are the details that we were never taught.
Right.
That line of sugar, even though most of us use it, the history behind it is that the U.S., through their conniving methods, stole that from Puerto Rico. So read a verse again. You can take it down. Give me the Guatemala coup. Read a verse again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
You see that? We just read that right there. The sugar industry of Puerto Rico was completely taken over by the U.S. government.
Right.
That's what the Bible was talking about. So first and foremost, the Bible ain't a phony book. The Bible is the most truest book you'll ever find.
Right.
And let's just know, so-called Latinos were the Israelites as well.
That's right.
Now, put this up real quick. All right? I think we should read just the first paragraph. Put it on the screen. All right. It says, background on the Guatemalan coup of 1954. Read the first paragraph.
In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Latin American governments were characterized by economic policies that allowed for liberal foreign investments from wealthy countries like the United States.
Like the what?
The United States.
Where the Bible says a nation which thou knowest not. The nation that we knew not is the U.S. government.
Right.
Go ahead.
Military dictators led a number of these Latin American governments.
Come on.
The United Fruit Company.
The United Fruit Company. Keep that name in mind, right? The UFCO. What?
An extremely successful American-owned and run company.
Stop. It says an extremely successful American-owned and run company. Go ahead.
Profited greatly from investments it made in Guatemala.
Like what? Go ahead.
The business of United Fruit was bananas. And from bananas, it had built a business empire in the Central American nations of Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama.
So stop right there. Hold on. That's it, because you can read, I said, for time's sake, I can read this, but take it down. The point is, for example, you ever seen a banana before? It will say, like, from Nicaragua,
right,
from Guatemala.
Right.
But the thing is that's crafty as hell, because those companies are not owned by Guatemalans or Costa Ricans. They're by U.S. government. So what they'll do is those same companies will reap the fruits of that country and resell it to the same people, export it to the U.S., export it to whatever country. But who's getting the money? It ain't Guatemala.
Right.
It ain't Costa Rica. It's the U.S. It happens to this day. Thank you. You can many of our groceries has these labels. Put on the screen. It will say Guatemala plantains, right? Plantains. But those plantains are not being. But the point is, the country of Guatemala is not reaping the benefit and not reaping the surplus, right? Or you call it the economic benefits of those fruits is the U.S. Because the American Fruit Company, right, has taken over Latin America. They have their own companies in our countries reaping and sowing the benefit of the Bible says right here. Read the verse again, verse 33.
Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
That's happening till this day. So when you buy your bananas, right, at your stores, your different kind of fruits, and you might see, it might have, right, a Northern Kingdom, a Latino country like Costa Rica. You might think, oh, you see, Latinos, they ain't oppressed.
Right.
Hispanics, they're not oppressed because they got their own strawberries, their own berries, their own sugar. But guess what? Ignorant people not knowing that those companies, they're owned and run by the U.S. government.
Right.
So all that money ain't going to the country. It's going right back here. It's going to the U.S. So this verse right here goes deep. Go ahead. And thou shalt only.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
And the word always started from 1492
to
this day right now. And like I said, we gave an example of the gold when Columbus came, to the domino sugar Puerto Rico,
right,
to the United Fruit Company is happening to this day. That oppression is a cycle. The Bible says it's a ring. To show you more proof, the Latinos, we are the Israelites. We're still oppressed to this day as well. Now, from there, let's go to verse 49.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49.
Go ahead.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Stop right there. It says the Lord, God will bring a nation. It says from a nation against us. Who's the us? The Israelites from far, right? Because keep in context. Where did Spain come from? Where did Portugal come from? Where did Britain come from?
Right.
From the Eastern Hemisphere. Where were majority of the tribes? The Western Hemisphere.
Right.
It says from far. Read on.
From the end of the earth.
That's what it's going into. The complete opposite side of the earth, right? The other hemisphere. Read on.
As swift as the eagle flies.
As what?
The eagle flies.
Now you might think, because a lot of people that don't believe in the Bible, they don't understand that nothing in this Bible is written by accident.
Right.
Like God could have used a completely different animal.
Right.
He said the eagle. You know why he put the eagle? Put the pictures up. You know I want the eagles. Okay, you can put that up for now, but That's an actual eagle, right? But you know what I want, right? I want the empires. I want the flags. I want the flags of the empires. You have that? You have those pictures? Okay, read the verse again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far,
Come on.
from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Now put it on the screen to show there's no what they call coincidence in the Bible. God put the eagle for a reason, because let's start with today. Look at your dollar bill, your quarters. What do you find? The eagle.
Right.
In the Greek and Roman Empire, they used the eagle as their sign. They all had the eagle. All of them. Why? Because the eagle is an animal of prey, right? It hunts smaller rodents.
Right.
To show that this man, that's a symbol. The eagle, that's him. He is the eagle. And to show you more thing, right, soldier, is why the coincidence, right, that all these empires kept the same symbol.
Right.
Like, why didn't Portugal put a hawk?
Right.
Right? Why didn't Spain change it up a little bit and put like a falcon?
Mm-hmm.
They all kept the same animal, because within their spirit, God put it in their spirit, use the same animal.
That's
because
right.
You're all the same people. And not only that, in these last days, we'll be able to go into the Bible and say, oh, snap, the eagle, Portugal, Spain, France, Britain, the U.S.,
Right.
Germany, right? Greece, Rome, all are the eagle. So the Bible will bring the white man, right? In all essence, he will bring the Caucasian race against us. Read on.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Come on.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
It says a nation whose language you will not understand. Now that's heavy, because, a lot of us as Latinos will think, we take pride in Spanish.
Right.
They will think, listen, Hispanics really think Spanish is a native tongue.
Right.
Like, certain, right, like, Haitians would think Creole is a native tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, even English, right, what we're speaking right now, this ain't our native tongue.
That's right.
All of these Spanish, Creole, French, Spanish, Portuguese are the languages of our oppressors.
Right.
So the question is, if you're telling me this is our oppressor language, then what do we speak? What is our true language?
Right.
Give me the books. Give me the first one I posted, page 98. Right now, we're bringing out some historical books. You can use that. Yeah, put that first. While it's up, we can put that. All right. This is from a book called what's the title of this book? I forgot the name of this book. Not Paradise. Promised Lands. My bad. What's the full title of the book? Laws. Yes, thank you. The Laws, Tribes, and Promised Lands. All right. Now, I want you to zoom in. This is now. When they came to side the earth, there was talking to the tribe, because we knew what tribes we were.
Right.
There was talking to the tribe of Reuben. Now, I want you, just for time's sake, read the green part, right? Now, when they met the indigenous people of this side of the earth, right, Northern Kingdom, right? Look what they were saying. Look what they were speaking.
Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to
Montesinos,
and to his utter astonishment said, Shema, Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Ehud. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had recited in Hebrew, the fundamental credo of Judaism.
Now stop right there. What they quote is actual scripture. You find that in Deuteronomy 6:4 and in Mark 12:29, right? Now, first and foremost, how did they listen? If they're not the Hebrews, matter of fact, you can't listen. They had recited in what language? In Hebrew. So that lets us know we didn't speak Spanish.
Right.
Right? We spoke Hebrew. Why? Because we are the Hebrews.
That's right.
And how did they know what verses? Because we always had the Bible. We always had a form of the scriptures.
Right.
So when they came and conquered, that's when they conquered us. They said, damn, they knew who they was conquering. These are the Israelites. So we was clearly speaking in Hebrew. Not Spanish, not English, not French, but Hebrew. That's what the Bible says. We wouldn't understand their language because we never knew Spanish. Now, just to, since it's here, read the other highlighted part.
They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
You see that? So we knew who we were. They said, we are the tribe of Reuben. Go ahead.
And that the tribe of Joseph.
The tribe of Joseph, right? Ephraim and Manasseh, the Puerto Ricans and Cubans, so-called.
Lived on an island nearby.
So we only knew who we were, we knew where our brothers were at.
Right.
We said we are the Reubenites, but Ephraim and Manasseh, they're over there. They're on these other islands. Because why? We used to link up. And these are books you can find online. But why aren't these in our curriculums in schools?
Right.
To show you the white man is the devil.
That's right.
Because they have these books. These are written by so-called white people.
Right.
Right. So now the point is to show you that our true language is Hebrew. That's what we always spoke. Now they conquered us. That's why now we speak Spanish, English, Creole, French, and all of not only that, but the diaspora.
Right.
Right. Hindu, Italian, like the Isaiah 11:11 project.
Right.
Now give me the other book, page 49. The other book. I posted it right. Yes, thank you. All right. When you edit the video, I'll send you the cover of the book. I've had to send the cover. Put that up. Again, it says a tongue which thou knewest not. Now, read this real quick.
Indians and Israelites. Of more interest than the mode of migration is the question whether any apologies and
any
analogies in language, in traditions, in religious conceptions, or in religious ceremonies justify the acceptance of the ethnological theory.
The theory is whether or not the Indians are Israelites. Now look, they're trying to, even from back then, try to debunk it. Even from back then, they were trying to debunk that we were the Israelites. But to show they're the devil, look, they couldn't debunk it. So what they did, they conquered us, right? They gave us new names. They called us Puerto Ricans, Cubans, right? Guatemalans, Mexicans, gave you Spanish, gave you Catholicism. But look, continue reading Rondo's chief argument.
Reuben's chief argument in support of his view is the language.
Is the what?
The language,
the tongue
of the Indians in Española.
Española is what? You so-called Dominicans, right? And Haitians. Go ahead.
Cuba.
Cubans.
Jamaica.
What?
Jamaica.
The Jamaicans, right? They're our family too. We're the same people.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And the adjoining islands.
The other tribes. Go ahead.
He contends that it has many resemblance to Hebrew.
So the language we were speaking during the conquest has many resemblance to what? To Hebrew. Now, go ahead. In fact, he even calls it corrupted Hebrew. Why was it corrupted? Because remember, the northern kingdom was conquered by the Assyrians.
Right.
And then what? The Babylonians came. Then the Persians came. Remember, we fled to this side of the earth during the Persian Empire. So our language always got, broken. Always got a little corrupted, broken. Like today, right? Even within, northern kingdom countries, certain Spanishes aren't the same.
Right.
Right? Even like example, Creole and French.
Right.
Like, you would think they're the same language, but they're actually very different.
Right.
So that's why it says corrupted Hebrew, because throughout our oppressions, throughout the different captivities, the true Hebrew always got corrupted. But the point is what? That when they came and conquered us, we was not speaking Spanish.
Right.
These are only two different books. We have many more books that lets us know that the language we were speaking was Hebrew. Now hold on. Go ahead. I didn't highlight it. Go to the next sentence. He asserts
that such names
He says certain names like what?
As Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew.
They're Hebrew words. They're Hebrew names. Right? The point is that you can take it down because for time's sake, that in those two islands, the language was Hebrew. That was the main language.
Right.
So go back to the verse again. It says, I want you to read a nation whose tongue. Go to the last part. Verse 49.
Verse 49. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because all the 12 tribes, right, from the so-called American blacks to down to the so-called Latinos, our language is Hebrew.
Right.
So when they conquered us, we wasn't understanding Spanish. They've beat and forced us to learn Spanish.
Right.
The same way they forced and beat us to speak English, speak French. All of the 12 tribes have gone through the same atrocities.
Right.
Right. It's the same oppression. Now, hold on. Read verse 50.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50.
Come on. Now, I want you to give me the destruction of the Indies pages, all right? We're going to go through them real quick, all right? Read verse 50.
A nation of fierce countenance.
So these people, the British, the Spanish, the Portuguese, right? The American Empire. It says a nation of fierce countenance. How fierce? Read on.
Which shall not regard the person of old.
Meaning they didn't care how old you were. They didn't care about your status. Read on.
Nor show favor to the young.
Like we read before, right? From 14 years old. They didn't care, he's a baby. Nah. They didn't care how old you were. They didn't care about your status. Oppression was oppression.
Right.
Now, go to this book real quick. Now, this book right here, it's called a short account of the destruction of the Indies. I suggest all of y'all to get it. Like I said, this book right here actually was part of a college course. I was like, oh snap! Like we was bringing it out, and he's bringing it up in class. We should read the highlighted part. Go down. Should read that real quick.
At a conservative estimate, the despotic and diabolical behavior of the Christians has over the last 40 years led to the unjust and totally unwarranted deaths of more than 12 million souls.
How many?
12 million souls.
Nah, you told me, right, white man, you told me in school, anytime I think about a Holocaust, think about the Jewish oppression. Whereas they're not Jewish, they're full of ish. You understand? They trying to be like us. But, you know, what they say, 3 million? Like, I don't know. Million. They always go, the number always changes. 6? Let's say 6, right? Let's play devil's advocate, what they will say. 6 million compared to 12, that's double.
Right.
That's double. And that's only the Northern Kingdom. That's not including the millions that died through the sub-Saharan slave trade and the transatlantic slave trade. So there's many more than 12. But only in the conquest of the Americas, it says estimated there's more. 12 million souls. 12 million compared to 6 million? Yeah, you're the devil. Go ahead.
Women and children.
Women and what?
And children.
So the Bible says who should not regard the young or the old. That's what's going into. To let us know the so-called Latinos, we are the Israelites. Without a doubt. It says women and children.
Right.
Go ahead.
Women and children among them.
Come on.
And there are grounds for believing my own estimate of more than 15 million to be nearer the mark.
Right, because there's more than 12. Even the number keeps going up. Because even to this day, we're still getting killed by the numbers. Right? Go to the next page. Thank you. Now zoom in. Now read that right there.
They grabbed suckling infants by the feet and ripping them from their mother's breasts, dashed them headlong against rocks.
You see that it says they grabbed suckling infants by the feet and ripping them from their mother's breast, dashed them headlong against the rocks. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I was never taught this in school. Right? Even today, like, you know, I'm pretty sure if you have kids in school right now in the public school system, ask them, like, hey, are y'all currently learning about this? Because so-called Thanksgiving is coming up this month, right? The end of this month.
Killing, yep.
And they gonna have schools closed. Right? Certain of y'all gonna be off from work. They'll give us, you know, Black Friday to try to forget about it.
Right.
But where's this history? Because when you celebrate Thanksgiving, this is what you're celebrating.
Right.
You're celebrating the conquest of the Americas. Now, that's what they did. They took our children from their mother's breast and dashed them against rocks. Like that's the people you call Christians? You call those people the people of God? Go ahead, go down. This is they spared no one.
They spared no one.
Go down a little bit so you can see it.
Erecting especially wide gibbets on which they could string their victims up with their feet just off the ground and then burn them alive 13 at a time.
Why 13?
In honor of our Savior and the 12 apostles, or tie dry straw to their bodies to set to fire, set fire to it.
That's not the devil, because they did it by 13s, 12 for the apostles and one representing Christ. And what they don't understand is that there was actually, the people that was mocking by that way, they don't understand that they was actually killing the elect. Like, we are the elect of God. We are the elect. Listen, that's what the Bible says, happy is he when God gives them the recompense they deserve.
Right.
Remember, it says they should receive double for what they gave to us.
Right.
Only imagine that. Go to the next one. Go to the next picture. Next book, my bad. Yes, no, my bad. Yeah, that right there. And get the pictures ready.
Devising yet further refinements of cruelty, murdering the native people, burning and roasting them alive, throwing them to wild dogs, and then oppressing, tormenting, and plaguing them with toil down
the mines
and elsewhere.
So these are books that the Jesuit priests were recording. They was burning us alive, throwing us to wild dogs, throwing us into mines. Like, that's what the Bible, when it tells about, it says a nation of fierce countenance that's going to what? Like their diabolical mindset. Like they were just so evil. They were trying to experiment like different ways of how to kill us. Go ahead. Next page. I think I said one more. That's it. I think I have one more. Yes. Then get the pictures ready that I sent. So hold on. Go up real quick. Those are the mines and the wild dogs that they was feeding us to. You see that? And that's not taught in school. And we'll go out and then eat a turkey, a damn turkey, and damn squash for Thanksgiving. Nah,
Right.
We ain't doing that. The Bible said you prepare a table for that troop. That troop is what? The American troops.
Right.
The Edomite troops that killed our brothers and sisters during the conquest. All right, go down. But in order
to avenge themselves on the local people for having devised this trick, they decree that all natives taken alive of any station and of all ages.
And of what?
Of any station and of all ages.
When the Bible says they regarded not the people of old, nor showed favor to the young. No matter how old you was, they was taking you in slavery. Go ahead.
Of any station and of all ages should themselves be cast into the pits they had dug.
Go ahead.
And so it came to pass that all those that they captured, pregnant women.
What?
Pregnant women.
They didn't care if you was pregnant, sisters. They didn't care about that. Go ahead.
Mothers of newborn babes.
They didn't care if you had a newborn baby, if it was 2 months, 3 months, maybe it was a couple days. They didn't care about that. Go ahead.
Children and old men.
They didn't care if you was aged, if you was elderly brother, elderly sister. Go ahead.
Were thrown into these pits and impaled on the spikes.
Go on top again. Those was talking about. They didn't care how old you were. They didn't care if you was pregnant. They was throwing you in these pits. That's what the Bible calls that race, the devil. Satan.
Right.
Now go to the pictures real quick. I sent you some pictures. Right, that go with these writings. Yes. This is we showed this earlier, but it's going to the same thing. They didn't care how old you were, how young you were. Listen, when it came to conquering us, the white man conquered us.
Right.
Look right there. They killed us by 13s, burned us alive.
Right.
Took our babies, dashed them into stones. Listen, we're not taught this in school. But yeah, again, look right there. Look at that. Dogs. Eating us alive. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if you've been chased down by a dog before. I was only one time, and listen, I thought I was about to die. But a live dog eating you alive? Listen.
Right.
And look, you see back there, a lot of them was, when you read the book, a lot of them used to cast lots. They used to play games like, I bet this person will survive the longest.
Right.
Or I bet this person can die first. Or they'll bet on the dog, actually. This dog is going to have more heads, whatever. Like, they would cast lots when they was doing this. And they still do it, right? They still do this, right? Look right there. Look at that. Being burned alive.
Damn.
Now, you want to ask yourself how we became Catholics? Why a lot of you Latinos are Catholics?
Right.
Because this is what happened.
Right.
If you said, I'm not a Catholic, I'm an Israelite, all right, they burned us alive. This is the beginning of modern-day Christianity, all right? You see back there, his hand getting chopped off?
Right.
Again, these are public records. You can go online and find them, buy the books, but nobody's going to talk about this. Now, that's it for the pictures? Now, take it down. So, again, these are only, listen, we can go through the whole chapter, but again, without a doubt, so-called Latinos, we are the Israelites.
That's right.
We are. Now,
that's right.
we'll go a little over. For time's sake, go to Hosea 7 and 8. All right, because a lot the main thing they try to say is, oh, your skin like people like myself, they'll say, oh, you're whitewashed, right? You're European.
Right.
That's what they'll say about people like myself. Now, go to Hosea chapter 7 and verse 8.
The book of Hosea, chapter 7, verse 8.
Get the pictures ready of the baseball players I sent you, right? Go ahead.
Ephraim hath mixed himself among the people.
Start there. Where it says Ephraim is going into not only the Puerto Ricans, but all the Latino tribes and native tribes.
Right.
It says Ephraim has done what?
Mixed himself among the people.
Right. Historically, right, with the Assyrians, the Persians. But guess what? Nowadays, the white man, we mix ourselves with the Chinese man.
Right.
Right. We mix ourselves, we interracially marriage amongst all the nations.
Right.
So it says, but historically it says Ephraim, we have mixed ourselves amongst the people. Now, because of us having interracial marriages, this is what happened. Go ahead.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
It says Ephraim is like a cake not turned. Now, I've always used the example of, like when you make a pancake or tortilla, let's say you keep a pancake on just one side, right? You never flip it, right? Well, what happened? The side on the pan is going to be extremely dark.
Right.
The other side will be what? Extremely light.
Right.
That's what's going into. Now, if you don't believe me, right, you say, oh, this dude, he's taking the scriptures out of context. No. Put this up right here. Put it up right here. This is the living example. It says Ephraim is like a cake not turned. Now, this is a lot of you know him. His name is David Ortiz. Used to play baseball. He's retired. Right? David Ortiz, right? Look, he's dark-skinned, right?
Right.
Extremely dark. Now, go to Albert Pujols. Damn, I thought it was HD. It's all good. Now, he's also, no, both of them are so-called Dominicans. Both
Right.
of them. Now, this brother is what? More like myself, right? Light-skinned.
Right.
The other brother, same country, same people, he's dark-skinned. Because you'll find that same thing amongst, matter of fact, not just Latinos, amongst all tribes.
Right. Right.
Like, even amongst Judah, right?
Right.
You have Stephen Curry.
Right.
You have Blake Griffin. His father is a so-called Haitian. He's Levi.
Right.
But he, you know what I mean? You don't see him as an average Haitian, right? Amongst all, but the point is amongst all 12 tribes, you'll see this. You'll see light skin and extremely dark skin.
Right.
That's what happened historically. By us having interracial marriages, guess what? The skin complexion of the tribes, some of them got lighter, some of them got stayed dark.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you're not an Israelite.
That's right.
Because God deals with what? The father, your lineage.
Right.
If your lineage is of the nation of Israel, no matter how dark you are, because you'll find dark-skinned brothers, but they're not Israel.
Right.
Their father is white.
Right.
Caucasian, I'll say. You know what I mean? So the point is, don't get carried away by skin complexion. It's the seed that counts. Now, give me the sisters now, because somebody say they might feel offended. Put that up there. All right. Now, this is a sister. She's Cuban, Vanessa. Her name was Celia Cruz. All right. She passed away. She was a famous salsa singer, bro. She had some hits, man, you know. You should look her up. Fire. All right, but look at her. Dark skin, right?
Right.
Had the woolly hair and all that. Beautiful sister, right? Now, give me the other sister. This sister name is Gloria Estefan. She's also Cuban, Vanessa. But look at her skin complexion.
Right.
Light skin. Same thing. So the point is, amongst all 12 tribes, you'll find that. So read the scripture again one more time.
Yep. Hosea chapter 7, verse 8.
Now give me the article, the last article I gave you. Come on.
Ephraim hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
So amongst the Latino countries, tribes, you'll find some that are lighter, some that are darker. Like that's what amongst us, right? You have Captain Abiel, Ephraim, he's dark, a darker skinned brother.
Right.
Deacon Yashua, also Ephraimite, a lighter skinned brother. You find out amongst all the 12 tribes. But the point is, brothers and sisters online, just because you're light skin complexion, don't let nobody tell you you're not Israel.
Right.
God deals with the seed. All right. And now these are biblical proof. They're in the Bible. So when brothers try to use that against you, they just don't know the Bible.
Right.
Right. So the point is, amongst the Latino tribes mainly, you'll find that separation. But the white man also used that to also destroy us from within.
That's right.
The point of colorism, like separating us between light skin and dark skin, the white man capitalized that and used that to destroy us within. Now, post that real quick. We should get to the point. Now, this is something called Sistema de Castas, or the Casta system. Go down. We're going to read this real quick, just for time's sake, right here. Right. The first paragraph. Then give me the chart I gave you. All right, go ahead.
Sistema de Castas, or Society of Castes, was a porous racial classification system in colonial New Spain, present-day Mexico. It was a hierarchical ordering of racial groups according to their proportion of Spanish blood.
Go ahead.
In this system, notable categories with significant meaning were Español, Spaniard, Castizo, Morisco, Mestizo,
A lot of you heard of the term before, mestizo.
Mulatto,
I'm pretty sure y'all have heard that term before.
Indio, Indian, and Negro,
And Negro, black, right?
black. At the Sistema de Castas most extreme, there were more than 40 classifications,
So, meaning there was more than 40 ways they classified you, right? Go ahead.
with Español being the most desirable and Negro being the least desirable.
Hold on, you read too fast. It said, with Espanol, meaning Espanol means Spanish,
Right.
Spain, Caucasian, right? So Caucasian being the most desirable, but what?
Being the most desirable, and Negro being the least desirable for socio-political
You
purposes.
see how they destroyed us? That's what even out to this day, a lot of Latinos, when you tell them Christ is black, they'll look at you like, you crazy.
Right.
And they'll hate you for that.
Yep.
Because of this. Now go ahead. This is race.
Race, color,
Race, color. So when they try to tell you color doesn't matter, listen, you got to ignore them. You got to teach color because they use color to destroy us.
Right.
It says race, color.
Physical features.
Right.
Occupation.
Stop, hold on. Physical features, right? What that goes into? Hair texture. Right. That's what a lot of our sisters mainly hate their hair. And brothers too. A lot of brothers, especially Latino brothers, they be permanent dyeing their hair too.
Right.
Right. The nose, all that. Right. They made us hate ourselves. Is the point.
Right.
They made us hate ourselves with what? With the images they gave us. White Jesus, white angels, all that. All those images were used for us to then hate ourselves.
That's right.
So it says they use race, color, physical features. Go ahead.
Occupation.
Occupation. Guess what? That's what even to today. Most of the tribes, what they call blue collar, right?
Right.
Right. And listen, like, what's wrong with having a trade? Nothing wrong with having a trade. Christ was a carpenter.
Right.
But nowadays, they look down upon you for having a trade.
Right.
But if I make you go to school 8, 10 years, get indebted. Now, I'm not saying I go to school. Many of us went to school, right? I went to college. The point is go to college, but have a purpose, right? But the point is, if you want to get a trade, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Nothing wrong with getting a trade.
Right.
But the point is, they will even separate us like that. Like, oh, you're an electrician. Listen, electrician is a decent paying salary job.
Right.
But they look at you, oh, you're an electrician. Why you go to college? Nah, we got a trade.
That used to be in the schools.
Right. They used to be in the schools, right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And wealth.
And
Occupation.
wealth.
Mm-hmm.
In this society mattered as Spanish officials attempted to control every aspect of a person's life, from employment to regulating dress codes and friendships.
So the point is they separated us into many different classes to separate us. That's the point, to separate us, right? Now, give me the chart. Give me the chart. I'm going to show you the castas chart. I remember I learned this in school, which is, all this is conniving, evil. Put it up. Now, the top left is what they call Spanish, right? Meaning you're purely white.
Right.
Like father and mother from Spain. Now, the lowest one, you see the bottom right corner? That's what they label in the article black or Negro, meaning both your parents were indigenous black. But all within that, like example, let's say your mother was Indian, but your father was white, but you came out looking a little bit darker, you was a mestizo. Or, but if you're, like, let's say your father was Indian, mother was white, but you came out looking more like the white side, right. You're mulatto. The point is, we all understand that they use that to destroy us within. That's why to this day, a lot of Latinos have hatred amongst themselves.
Right.
The lighter skinned ones will think they're better than the dark skinned brothers.
Right.
I'm talking about within Latino America. Within Latin America, you see that. The lighter skinned brothers or and sisters. Like look at the novellas, right? The TV shows they have. They only put mainly what? Lighter skinned actors. Because it's still going because of this right here. The white man capitalized on it, but guess what? Today, we're grafting in both kingdoms and destroying that lie.
That's right.
Now, last scripture, go to Zechariah 11:14. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 14.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 14. Then I cut asunder mine other staff,
Come on.
even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
So it was already prophesied that the Lord was going to cut off the brotherhood amongst Judah and Israel. Right. Read about that during the time of the split. Till guess what? Christ. That's why Christ had to come back and die.
Right.
To bring both kingdoms together. But now, as us repenting, because you know why, soldier? I remember I was talking to a brother one time. He was telling me that if it wasn't for the truth, he wouldn't have what you consider like a close friendship with a so-called African American.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? Like, think about it. A lot of brothers, right? Let's say the islands, right?
Right.
Like
right.
let's say Jamaica. Like in Jamaica, you won't really see so-called Latinos over there, right? So a lot of times you don't really see them as like your same people.
Right.
But this truth, guess what? We're now bringing back their brotherhood.
That's right.
By teaching that Christ is black and the so-called Negroes, so-called Jamaicans, so-called Haitians, and the so-called Latinos and natives, we're the same people. We're
right.
And so family, that's the purpose of this class, right? When anybody try to say that Latinos aren't Israelites, they're what? They're casting away that brotherhood again. They're trying to separate both kingdoms.
Right.
So don't listen to that lie. I pray that y'all learn something from this class. So with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
What is a nation? nation is men leading by example.